Hi, take just a second. See if you can figure out what my t-shirt means. And if you can't figure it out, I'm sorry. Okay, so I wanted to kind of summarize what you're getting ready to read because I know some of you need just the facts and some of you need a lot of information. So everything you need is in this assignment. But there's some highlights from your AP testing guide that I want to kind of talk about. I would encourage you to read the parts that pertain to you, and there's all kinds of information for every AP test that's going to be taken. The the biggest thing about having this easy access to this document is if you have a question about what can or cannot happen on the AP exam, it will be answered in this document. One thing they said in the webinar for teachers was that if you have a question about the exam, refer to this document. If it is not in this document, then you have a choice. So if it's not specifically outlined in here, then it is okay. Or you can make a decision about how you want to make it for you. The a couple things I wanted to point out from here is that you do need to log in 30 minutes prior to your exam because you've got to go through the security, like got to make sure it's you and all this stuff. So don't wait until 2 p.m. to actually log in. When you are finished, press the submit button, even if you're not finished. So even if you still have two sections to answer, who cares? Submit anyway. The good news is if you've started submitting in that 5-minute window, you're going to be fine because the system is set up so that your document will still be uploading while you have progressed on to question number 2. So even if it hasn't finished uploading, as long as you have pressed the submit button in that 5-minute window, it's fine. It will be uploading in the background while you're working on question number 2. The photo of your work needs to be vertical. You can tell I've had a problem with that with my YouTube videos when I'm videoing me writing on my table. So that's why it's going to be incredibly important that you do the demo. The link is provided in this assignment. You can do the demo multiple times. It's just going to allow you to practice the uploading. I do plan to have a mock exam sometime the week after, obviously, you take your Chapter 10 test. I'll set up a Zoom with a mock exam. So be looking out for a Google form where I'm going to try to do it live with you with as many as I can. So I'll be asking for what's a good time for you in the next week or so. The other thing is, and do this before your exam, you are going to need to write. Let me read it and make sure I have it exactly. I'm reading my notes to make sure I have it exactly right. You are going to need to write your AP ID and your initials on each page of your work. Now, you are going to be allowed 5 pages per problem. So that's a total of 10 pages. So if I were you, I would get your paper ready way before 2 o'clock that day to make sure that you have this ID and your initials on every single page and that you don't go over the 5 pages per problem. You don't get 10 total pages, you get 5 pages per problem up to 10 pages. Be sure you have everything attached before you click submit. If you've decided to take the exam on your tablet or your smartphone, it may require a lot of scrolling, which will take away some of your time. So please try that demo and see if you try it once on your smartphone, try it once on your computer. If you don't have any other option, then it's not a big deal. Just be aware that you know that there's going to be some scrolling involved in the problem. Would have a sheet of paper you don't plan to submit where you maybe are taking notes off while you're reading the problem, pulling out the important numbers or whatever, if you feel like that would benefit you. You cannot use Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer will not open the exam. So you need to have Google Chrome downloaded. You need to have Firefox. Safari will work. Microsoft Edge will work. So depending on what your setup is, this is the time to be seeing if you have the right browser. So Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. If you lose connection during your exam, there is a saving grace. So don't feel like, oh crap, I lost connection, so I'm screwed, because you're not. If you lose connection during the exam, there will be a yellow button on your e-ticket, and follow the prompts. So what will happen is you'll go immediately, you'll click that yellow button, and you will request to take it in June. So you need to do your absolute best to take this exam on May 4th. I'm sorry, not May 4th. That's the day of the demo. Although they have already made it live, so you don't have to wait till May 4th. The May 22nd, whatever day it is. Like, I've totally lost my train of thought now. But so whatever day of your exam, if you can take it that day, you're going to be best served, because if you have a technological issue, then you can automatically request to do the June date. And those dates are in this guide, and I'll see if I can find them quickly in a minute. So once you click that yellow button, if you have technical issues, please follow the prompts so you can request that later date. If you have Grammarly as a Google plugin, you need to enable it. You need to disable it, because it will not allow you to open the exam if you have Grammarly, which again is another reason for you to practice and double check that this demo will work. Because if you cannot get the demo to work, then you've got issues with your computer, and we need to figure that out now. We don't need to wait till day of, and then you have to wait till June. Do not refresh your browser or use the back button while you're taking the test. So you will need to leave it on your screen. I'll be honest with you, if this was me taking this test, I would have it on a laptop screen, and I would be doing all my work on a sheet of paper. I wouldn't even try to worry about typing anything. And also, they have highly suggested you keep the timer visible at all times, and that you disable sleep mode on your tablet or your smartphone, so it doesn't go to sleep in the middle, and then you have to do your passcode or your Face ID or your thumbprint or whatever, and you've just wasted 2 or 3 minutes, which is a lot in the grand scheme of this exam. The other thing I wanted to kind of show you was this AP Student Exam Day checklist. If you could print this out and fill it out for every one of your AP exams, not just mine, but especially with mine, to make sure you have exactly what you need. And I think this summarizes a lot of what I've said too, but it's got some other information on it that may be very, very valuable to you. So please, please, please make sure before the day of you do this AP exam checklist. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say. I appreciate all of you who have come to the Zooms, who have given me feedback. If some days you've just made my day by just seeing you and getting to talk to you, and I thank you for that. If you haven't come to the Zooms, they're still happening Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. The code is always at the top of your stream, or I try to make sure it's at the top of your stream. If you forget the code that we're going to use, therefore, please come, especially now that we're getting to the end. There's some things that I would love to say. I'm not sure if I said it well enough in the videos. As we start preparing, please do your best to stay caught up. If you ever find out you're late on doing something, please do it anyway. I'm going to keep these tests and FRAPI things open until, so you can take advantage of those whenever you feel prepared. Grades aren't going in the grade book. This is just to benefit you, so you will be successful and get college credit and not have to do this class again, which would be all of our wonderful hopes and dreams. The other thing I want to say, it completely left my brain. I'm going to pause for just a second, and I'm going to come right back when I remember it. It was about the mock exam. So sometime that week, the week before, actually, I don't know when, sometime after chapter 10, I will set up a Zoom once I get some feedback from you guys, and we will do a mock exam where I will project on the screen, or I'll send you a file or something. I've got to figure all this out, and give you 25 minutes and maybe have a Google form where you have to upload for the first one. And then I will stop accepting responses at the end of that 5 minutes to give you practice on what the 25 minutes feels like, and what the 5 minutes feels like, and then what the 15 minutes. I have a mock exam ready, and I will also record that Zoom meeting. So if you cannot come at the time and the date that is set up, I will post it in our Google Classroom. But I would love to have as many people there as possible, because what I would like to do afterward is kind of have a Q&A and kind of have a question and answer. And if everybody's there, we can get a lot of feedback and we can have some good discussion. So this may be a Zoom that will take over an hour, hour and a half. So whenever you give me your feedback on the days and the times, keep that in mind. But I would love to see everybody. So come say hi during the Zoom meetings, even if you don't have any questions. But that's all for now. We will see you soon.